the successful European Union project is something we are going to talk about today. And one thing we should know from the beginning is what is key when we are talking about a successful EU project. And this is the partnership. The partnership is an important thing in any project, but for the European Union, it is absolutely key. You do not start looking for partners once you have prepared the whole project. It's when you have the idea overnight, the first moment when you have to start looking for the right partners. The good partnership is the basis of the European project. So what does it mean in the European project? In the European project, you have a common idea, which means you have to sit down at the table with your prospective partners and speak not about your idea of the project, but what everybody would like to implement. You also have a common realization. Every single step of the European project is going to be a common realization. This needs a lot of logistics and a lot of good understanding and goodwill. You have a common budget, which is an important point and sometimes the most difficult point. You have a common time frame. This also can be quite challenging when we're talking about partners between, let's say, Turkey and Norway. And I'm not talking on the time zone only, I'm talking also of cultural differences in understanding of the time concept. You have a common administration. You have the whole project is administered by a common group coming from each partners, and we have common public relationships. So basically, you cannot say, I'm doing my part in my country, you're doing your part in your country, and so on, but everything has to be done everywhere. So how do we go from the common idea to the common activity, to the activity at all? And there is something that I would like to share with you, and I hope it will make it easier for you. So usually we start with an idea which is something like a dream. We dream of achieving something. We do not say we're going to do an exposition or a festival. We are actually dreaming of what we want to achieve by this activity. So it all starts with a dream. The dream has to pass to a vision. Interestingly, the best way to form a vision is to close your eyes and imagine how do you visualize your project. And then from the vision, we form a goal. This is true for any project, also for individual projects. When it comes to European Union projects, you have to dream together. It's a collective vision that you form. And one of the most important things is not just to apply and to get some funding and money. This is the subcontext, of course, but the important thing is to find your path to a common vision, dream, and goal, together with people that very often you have never met before and don't know very well. So it's quite an adventure that we are talking about here. What will help you is a couple of questions. I want to give you a hint by suggesting them, answering what is our goal, which activities help us achieving it. So not actually saying these are our activities, but saying what is our goal, where do we want to go, where do we want to end up, what is success for us. And then you start to analyze from the back which activities lead us to this goal, which are our target groups. So talking about target groups quite often sounds abstract. What are target groups? These are people, these are human beings united by common interests. And we have to think of them. Which interests do they have? Where do we find them? How do we find them? Do we have common target groups? It's very important to think of them as human individuals. And what will be the result, the output of our project? It is a very important differentiation when it comes to European Union projects to make a difference between goal and the results. If the goal is, for example, to have a social impact, the result would be something more concrete that you can enumerate. It would be, for example, 2,000 people that are aware of this and this social change, or that are empowered through this and this skills. All this makes it easier for you this application is not just about applying and being better than the others. It's also an excellent project management tool that makes your project in higher quality, that helps you make a more perfect project. So use it in this way. The next step would be from the activity of one partner to the working package, so-called working package of activities of all partners. So how do we get there? There are a couple of steps that help us. Finding our common interests and goals. A European Union project doesn't mean that all the goals and all the activities of all partners have to be implemented and realized and fulfilled. It's only a couple, and maybe the most important and relevant goals and activities that have to be or can be fulfilled for this project. So learn making priorities. Identifying common or similar activities that can be merged together. What do you do anyway so that a synergy can come out of this? Identifying the common target groups, creating packages of common and similar activities, and naming, quantifying the results and outputs. Don't forget one thing. Once you do something together, it's not just about having fun, it's about common tasks and responsibility. So the task means who does what, and the responsibility means who is responsible for what. I'll give you an example so that it makes it easier for you. For example, if you have the promotion for the whole project has to be done by everyone, by every partner, but there is always one partner that administers the promotion. So it can be that the partner in Romania is responsible for the package of promotion, not only in their country, but in all the partners. And in big cooperation projects, it can be 7, 12 partners all over Europe, sometimes also in other places, and you have to be responsible for them. This is what it means, a lot of communication. Actually, this is what gives you then the feeling to be really European, because the European project is also about merging together and giving us the feeling what it means to work with the other countries, really. So let's speak about the common budget. As you can imagine, it's a challenging thing. How do we organize the common budget? First, we have to think, how much does the project cost? How much does each step of the project cost? Again, don't forget, it's not about financing all your project activities within this one project, but really finding what's a common goal and what are the common activities. For how much money do we apply? As you know, most costs do not fund the whole project, but in certain cases, most cases 50%. So for how much money do we apply? The costs have to be balanced. So what do we use it for? It is being checked. How much do you use for the promotion chapter? How much do you use for other parts, for other chapters of your project? And not to forget who receives how much. One of the main things of a European Union project is that it be balanced between all the partners. And it has to be clear that all the partners are taking part because the project cannot be of the same quality without one of them. Not because there have to be 3 or 4 or 5 partners, but because each of them is extremely necessary for this relationship and for the success of the activities. So again, it's about being honest, and honest means transparent, and being serious and committed about your project, because in the application you see if the project is meant so that everybody has a balanced portion in it. And the common time frame. So how do we administer the common time frame? It is important to imagine how long each step takes, so just like for another unilateral project. But here you have to have a bit of a reserve for unplanned things and also for unplanned communication. And don't forget, here we're speaking also about cultural differences. And the more you work together, the more you will know about each other, the more you would know, okay, what does it mean when I say tomorrow things will be ready. Tomorrow is a long day. And this is also part of the whole fun and pleasure and adventure that you can experience and enjoy if you really are doing this also for the intercultural communication. In the end, I want to speak about the two other chapters, the communication within the team, which is the administration, and the communication, which is the promotion, which is outwards. The common administration within the European project means how do we administer the communication within the whole international team. For this, you should have planned and scheduled meetings throughout the year, also during the preparation time. It is important that you come to know each other during the period when you're preparing the European project. A newsletter within the team, who is involved, who is not involved in each information. Contracts have to be ready. Accounting, usually you have to have several new people to be responsible for the common accountants, even though you have one lead partner and the rest are other partners. Plan the communication within the international team, within the partners, among the partners, and try to meet your partners and to make their acquaintance and see what their working model is as much as possible during the application period. This is already your first project. And then we have the last chapter. Your project is there, working, getting implemented, and you have to communicate it to the world. Think of how to communicate it beyond the world. So the common public relations in all these countries and beyond the partnering countries. Very often the application wants to hear from you. How are you going to spread the news about your project and the European funding beyond the partner countries? So think of events, think of publications, think of networks, think of press work, and anything innovative that you think of will be very welcome. And if at some point you think, oh my God, this is so much work, remember, no project is possible without partners. And good luck.